This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The time is 1:15. Here is the news, edited by Dulmin Samarasingha, read by Victor Raj. Here are the headlines of the local news. Health guidelines will be made a law. Oxygen will be imported from India. Special roadblocks set up between provinces. Face mask regulations enforced strictly from today. State Minister Kanchana Vijayasakara says tax on imported sprats or dried fish has not been increased. Communist Party says that opposition should stop doing politics using COVID. Samag Jana Balavega expresses support to all measures taken by the government to control COVID. Foreign news, a U.S. Federal Scientific Agency says July was world's hottest month ever. Sports news, football. Robert Lewandowski scores on the opening day of the Bundesliga for the record 7th consecutive season. Local news in detail. An extraordinary gazette notification will be issued on Monday, converting all health guidelines issued by the Director General of Health Services into a law. Health Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi disclosed this today during a discussion in Colombo. Another set of guidelines is scheduled to be issued, tightening travel restrictions in the Western Province. Senior DIG Ajit Chauhan says police will seek stern legal action against people who violate inter-provincial travel restrictions. Teams of police officers have been deployed to enter and exit points of each province, the police spokesman said, adding that the assistance of the armed forces will be obtained to operate roadblocks and to patrol provincial borders. He said face mask regulations will be strictly enforced from today. The police spokesman said many public transport vehicle owner, driver, conductor or assistant who disregard travel restrictions will be strictly dealt with. No individuals, except those who are employed in essential services, will be allowed to cross provincial borders from today. However, essential workers are required to provide their office ID or a letter issued by their workplace to prove that they are called to duty. State Minister Kanchana Vijayasakara says the tax on imported sprats or dried fish has not been increased. He said that tax has not been increased from yesterday by a gazette. He further said that the gazette has extended the taxes imposed 6 months ago according to regulations. State Minister Vijayasakara said it has been decided to continue with the taxes to protect local products. Leader of the Communist Party, Gunasekara, says that opposition should stop doing politics using the spread of COVID-19. He said that people should be educated at a grassroots level about the danger of the virus. National organizer of the Samag Jana Balavega, Tissa Thanayaka, said government should consider steps followed by other countries to control COVID. Everyone should follow health guidelines issued by health authorities, leaving out politics. He said that Samag Jana Balavega will support any measures taken by the government to control the virus. Treasurer of the JVP, Sunil Handunate, said that people should look after their own protection. He pointed out it is important to follow health advice. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking.
Continuing with more local news, Deputy Director General of the Health Services, Dr. Hemanta Herath, says there is a tendency to spread COVID virus in the community. The number of patients has increased. Dr. Herath pointed out that the highest number among the dead has not taken a vaccine. State Minister Ajit Kabra says that a minimum of $400 million can be earned by using underutilized assets of the country. When solving debt issues in the country during an interview with CNBC, he said government has a proper plan to solve future debt issues. In view of facilitating the passengers travelling to United Arab Emirates Airport and Aviation Services Sri Lanka Private Limited has established a rapid PCR testing service facility at Bandar Naik International Airport premises to conduct PCR tests for COVID-19. The laboratory is operated by the RC Laboratories and Services is available from today to facilitate the passengers who are mandatorily required to carry a negative rapid PCR report obtained within 4 hours prior to the scheduled departure to enter their destinations in the UAE. The religious articles of Sandahiro Stupa on a religious procession are scheduled to arrive at Kurunegala today. The motorcade carrying the crest gem and the sacred pinnacle commenced its passage from the Tholangam Rajamahaviharya amidst religious blessings this morning. The procession will arrive at the Gatuana Sri Mahinda Pirivana in the Kurunegala, passing Ambepusa, Alauba, Pambadenia, Dampasa and Naramala. The crest gem and the sacred pinnacle will be placed at the Gatuana Sri Mahinda Pirivana for public veneration this evening. Police divisions of the respective areas will control traffic and strict health care measures will be in place during the program. Plans have been drawn up to include an English language knowledge test paper for the Law College entrance examination. Justice Ministry Advisor, President's Counsel U.R. De Silva said that Justice Minister Ali Sabri has given necessary instructions in this regard. He said the aim is to prevent any inconvenience future as a lawyer at a court. That ends local news.
Get a personal loan for your marriage, education or housing within 24 hours with People's Bank Digital Banking. People's Bank Digital Banking, your ultimate convenience.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Sri Lankan government has decided to purchase 100 metric tons of oxygen from India next week for COVID-19 treatment centers. Secretary to the Ministry of Health, Dr. S.H. Munasinghe, said these purchases are to continue future in needed areas. That ends main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, Senior DIG Ajit Rohana says police will seek stern legal action against people who violate inter-provincial travel restrictions. Teams of police officers have been deployed to entry and exit points of each province. The police spokesman said, adding that the assistance of the Tri-Forces will be obtained to operate roadblocks and to patrol provincial borders. That ends Watchlight. Moving on to world news, let's take a look at the headlines. A U.S. Federal Scientific Agency says July was world's hottest month ever. Police investigated over Plymouth gunman's license. Nicaragua police said officers of La Presencia newspaper. World news in detail. A U.S. Federal Scientific and Regulatory Agency has reported July was the world's hottest month ever recorded. The data shows that the combined land and ocean surface temperature was 0.93 Celsius above the 20th century average of 15.8 Celsius. It is the highest temperature since recorded keeping records that began in 142 years ago. The previous record set in July 2016 was equivalent in 2019 and 2020. Experts believe this is due to the long-term impact of climate change. The police watchdog is investigating why the man who shot dead 5 people in Plymouth on Thursday had been given back his confiscated gun and permit. The Independent Office of Police Conduct says Jake Division was stripped of the weapon and its license in December after he was accused of assault. It is to examine why Devon and Cornwall police decided to return them in July. Police in Nicaragua have raided the offices of the country's main newspaper, La Prensa, which has been highly critical of presidential Daniel Ortega's government. Photographs on La Prensa website show riot police entering the building and boxes of materials being removed. Journalists said internet access and electricity were cut during the raid. Police said that they were investigating allegations of customs fraud and money laundering by the newspaper's managers. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. A U.S. federal scientific agency says July was world's hottest month ever. Police investigated over Plymouth gunman's license. Nicaragua police raid officers of the La Prensa newspaper. That ends World News.
Development News is brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melba RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melba RB500, number 1 in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
Win lakhs and lakhs with CIB Janajaya. 40% discount for your bills till 15th of August. 6 hand tractors at the Grand Road. CIB Janajaya.
SLT Mobitel recently established the Embryo, the SLT Group's pioneer research and development initiative. The Embryo comes with the aim of driving a multi-channel innovation pipeline to build cutting-edge digital solutions to serve the nation, using the valuable knowledge and skills within the SLT Group and collaborating with academia, industry, integrators and entrepreneurs. That ends Development News.
Development News was brought to you by
Quality matters than price. So as an engineer, I recommend Melba RB500. It's made with virgin billets using the latest technology. Melba RB500, number 1 in Sri Lanka. Truly Sri Lankan.
Win lakhs and lakhs with CIB Janajaya. 40% discount for your bills till 15th of August. 6 hand tractors at the Grand Road. CIB Janajaya.
Moving on to sports news, Robert Lewandowski scored on the opening day of the Bundesliga for a record 7th consecutive season as the Julian Nagelsmann era began with a draw at Borussia Mönchengladbach. Plazenapli slammed Gladbach into the head after he was fed by Lars Stindl. That was the first time Bayern, who have won the past 9 titles, have not scored the first goal of the season since 2012. Lewandowski equalized with a volley from the Joshua Kimmich corner. Bukayo Saka was given a standing ovation by Brentford and Arsenal fans on his first Premier League appearance since the European Championship. Saka, aged 19, missed the crucial penalty as England lost the Euro 2020 final to Italy in July and was one of a player that received racist abuse afterwards on social media. He came on after 59 minutes at the Brentford Community Stadium with the Gunners losing 1-0. Thousands of fans rose to cheer him. That ends sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Savings account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Soft Logic Life recorded as superior first half performance in the pandemic-affected business landscape, posting a gross written premium of 9,183 million rupees during the 6 months ending on 30th June 2021, with an increase in the top-line growth of 43% compared to the corresponding period of last year. The company has stood firmly with its policyholders in the face of the pandemic, paying COVID claims of $247 million for the period. That ends Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Expo 2020 Dubai, one of the largest and most prestigious global events of its kind originally set to take place last year, is now rescheduled to be held for a period of 6 months starting 1st of October until 31st of March 2022. The event will be held according to 3 large thematic districts of the opportunity, mobility and sustainability. Sri Lanka will be participating at the specially designed and dedicated pavilion in the Opportunity District of the Expo Village. That ends Economic News.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says spells of showers occur in western, Sabragamu, central and northwestern provinces and in Galle and Madra districts. Showers or thundershowers occur at several places in the north, eastern and Nugur provinces in the afternoon. Fairly strong gusty winds up to 50 km per hour can be expected in the Hambantota district. That ends with the report.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
To wrap up the afternoon news on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Health guidelines will be made a law. Oxygen will be imported from India. Special roadblocks set up between provinces. Face mask regulations enforced strictly from today. State Minister Kanchana Vijayasakara says tax on imported sprats or dried fish has not been increased. Communist Party says that opposition should stop doing politics using COVID. Samagi Janabalavega expresses support to all measures taken by the government to control COVID. Foreign news, a U.S. Federal Scientific Agency says July was world's hottest month ever. Sports news, football. Robert Lewandowski scored on the opening day of the Bundesliga for a record 7th consecutive season. That ends the afternoon news broadcast on Radio Sri Lanka.